Here we are on our 5 million-mile quest across the desert and the thick woods, looking for the extinct. Oh, I think we spotted it. By golly. Yeah! Welcome back to another video, everybody. What we got here is a 2008 Toyota FJ Cruiser 4x4, of course. Looking all majestic. Very beautiful in all its detail and glory. A lot of work done to this truck. Had it for 5 years, gone through 2 lifts, many tires, and alterations to make it perform and be as best as it can be. Alright, so let's get into it. So if you clicked on this video, it's not by accident. You're interested in one of these, or maybe you already own one and you're looking to make it better. You clicked on the right video because I owned this for 5 years and I'm a little bit meticulous about the way I do things. Now, I know they got kits for front and rear total with shocks, and they're about the same dollar wise. $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 in comparison to what I paid for mine. But I can never find a set or a kit front and rear like exactly how I want it. So I'll bring you in and show you what I did to the front. Now these are Freedom off-road coilovers, and they're adjustable. Let's get to the other side where it's open, and you can see there's the adjuster right there. And you can adjust it however high or however low you want. These are thicker than stock. I don't know the exact number. They're about the next size up, thicker. There was a reason why I got these. And I'll tell you in a little bit, because I had already bought some rear springs I'm about to show you. And they had claimed they were 3 inches. But man, when I put them on, they were like a 4-inch lift. So after I did it, it was really raking forwards a lot. So I had to get these at a really good price, made in Texas, made in America, and really happy with them. The stem down here is a lot thicker than stock. They don't hit the sway bar. They don't feel like they're extra stiff, like there's a problem. You know, like, oh man, I felt that. Oh, I gotta go slower over that bump. No, they don't feel like that. They move pretty good. I think they got like 2 more coils than stock. So really good product. I really like it. Freedom Off-Road, check them out. Now one more thing I've done with this vehicle when it comes to suspension that I almost forgot about are upper control arms. Now a lot of people say, oh, change out. There's so many videos out there pushing upper control arms. They're selling this and they're selling that, and there's really no reason to get new upper control arms unless your ball joint's messed up. They don't carry the weight of the suspension. The bottom one does. This upper control arm just keeps your wheel from coming out. That's all it does. It keeps it in line. Now these are a little bit different. I was a little bit scared, maybe skeptical of buying them at first. Never really thought I needed them until I got these springs on and lifted it 4 inches, and my caster was starting to go out. Now what these do is that they are preset. The ball joint is preset a couple degrees back. The older ones, you can line them up. I got another video of the install, but you can tell they're like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch this way. And so by setting it back, you bring that caster back to stock. That kept the steering and the suspension more stable going down the road on highway speeds. Now when it comes to upper control arms, a lot of guys, they don't know. I truly think they don't know any better, and they think, oh, I need name brand this and name brand. What are you rocking, bro? You know, what do you? Nah, it ain't about that with me, man. It's like, look, it's a steel tube, right? It's got a ball joint, right? There's your grease fitting right there. They're plenty greased. Oh, I need the one that you grease the joints down there and over there. Nah, I don't need all that stuff, man. I ain't got all day for that. And it's really, to be honest with you, it was really easy to change these out. I thought it'd be harder, but it wasn't. But there you go. You got a new upper ball joint. You got a new upper control arm. And it brings your caster back into correction. And they were cheap on eBay. I'm gonna show you a screenshot right there. As we go to the back, like I said, I could never find the combination of springs that I wanted as a kid, so I had to buy everything individually, which I spent somewhere around $1,400. But I got exactly what I wanted. It took a little bit more searching on the internet and stuff like that. But here they are. They look stock because they're black, but they're not. These are Icon dual rate springs. You can find these on Amazon. I think they're about $250 or $300. And they had said the claim was 3-inch lift. And these, I gotta tell you, rear springs are the easiest thing to install. Just lift it up and you can wiggle them out with the crowbar if you have one. And I don't even worry about the bump stops or this bump stop. It ain't ever gonna, man, it ain't ever gonna max out and hit the bump stop, because it's with the 4-inch lift. I can tuck this tire all the way up in here, all the way. It still ain't even getting close. I mean, I can really angle this thing out. But these are Icon 3-inch springs, and don't be fooled. 3-inch springs will give you a 4-inch lift. And no, it will not settle in and bring you back down to 3, because I've hauled a trailer. I got a 6x10 trailer that is, you know, it's probably 3,000 pounds when I haul it for long periods of time. And it won't wear these springs out. These springs are tough. So that's the second thing I've done. The Icon 2.5 or 3-inch lift springs, which gave me like a 4-inch lift. And that's why I went with the adjustables. I'm about as high as I want to be in the front, considering your drive shaft angle is just to where it's still pretty safe going down the road. It's not at a really crazy angle, you know. It's not like that. You can get away with that with these FJs. So that's suspension part number 2. Now my suspension part number 3 that I installed in this truck are some Bilstein shocks. But not just any Bilstein shock, this Bilstein shock. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the screenshot that I just put on shows that it's for, I think it's like mid 80s or late 70s. No, I correct myself. I believe it's for an early 90s or mid 90s Jeep for the front end. Now the reason why I chose these is very important. They have a shitload of travel. So you can articulate this all you want and they won't bottom out and they won't overstretch, limiting you from articulating even more. This is the reason why I could not find a kit that I wanted, because if I got the lift and I got the springs, I want to articulate as much as possible and keep them tires on the ground. So this is what I came up with. The top part is a stem. It fits right in. The bottom part, as you can tell, there's 2 bolts there. You see them? The one on the left is where the stock shock absorber is supposed to screw into. Well, Toyota's kind of rare. They make a bolt hole that's 3/4 inch diameter. You can't find a shock that will travel as much as this one does with a 3/4 inch. So what I did was drill a hole and bolt it in right next to it. Now as you can see there, you can see where I drilled the hole. There's a lot of extra material there. You just drill a hole, put a bolt, the nut goes on the inside. Real simple. and it doesn't hang down as far as it would if it were bolted down the other one. Now, if you're wondering, those aren't Bilstein 5150s. Those are good shocks, but they don't travel as much and they're stiffer. Now, that would be good if you want to be extra stiff, but you'll notice that these Bilsteins, because they travel more, they give a little less support in the bouncy department, which is actually kind of fun and kind of cool. When you're going over railroad tracks, you hit the gas, that back end will, it's like a Bronco, man. It's really cool, man. I really like it. Something you got to get used to. It's not out of control. It doesn't make you feel like you lose control. It just has a little bit more play in the back. Now, when it comes to suspension, the last thing I did was a Panhard bar relocation bracket. See, this right here is your Panhard bar, and it's located right there. But if you got one that's stock, it'll be right there and go all the way up and bolt in right there. Now, mine at first was bolted in right there when I had the front shocks, coilovers, the rear shocks and springs, and it was bolted up there. And man, let me tell you, this steering was unpredictable. The lift was already so high that you couldn't predict what the hell it was going to do at high speeds, and it was dangerous. What I recommend is you get a relocation, Panhard bar relocation kit. Now, you can buy one for a couple $100, or you can do what I did and make one. They got some that relocate that bar and bring it up a couple inches. They got some that relocate it from down here and bring it down a couple inches. Either way, you're going to be either bringing it up or bringing it down. But the idea of it is for it to be straight, like stock. See how it's straight here, all the way across, and straight right there? That's what you want. Now, what I did is got some 1/4-inch steel, and I cut out a plate that looks like that, mashed up the holes, and drilled it. Drilled the two up top, then I measured how far it would need to be level, and drilled another hole. And then you do that twice. There's a second plate on the other side. Let me show you. Here we are underneath, and you can see what I'm talking about. So I got some bolts drilled through all the way through the frame, and it comes down to the bar, and I just used the original bolt and put it through with the original nut. It's that simple. So if you lift your vehicle up to 2.5 inches, you probably don't need to do the Panhard bar drop. But if you do 3 inches or more, you're going to need to, because you're going to notice there's some unpredictable sway. It's almost like, I don't know, man. They call it torque steer. I don't know what it is, but maybe it is torque steer. But once I did that to the rear end, man, you can take this thing up to 100. Feels like it's stock. That's basically all I done with the suspension. That's your tires. That's your suspension. Forgot to mention, tires got 1 1/4-inch spacers. The wider you are, the more your center of gravity comes down. So as you lift and as you lift, you want to bring the tires out. You would think 1 1/4 ain't enough. It's enough. 1 1/4 is enough. And you can probably get away with 1 1/2, but I wouldn't go any farther than that. So if you think rubber ducks on a dash are f***ing gay, give me a like. So if you think GX 460s that are jacked up are pretty boy trucks, hit that like button. If you know, I'm not saying if you think, but if you know the Toyota FJ is the Japanese version of the Bronco, hit the like button. Once again, I want to thank you for watching. If you could, please subscribe. You know to hit the like button. And if there's any other information or any other videos you think I should put out on 5 years of ownership of the Toyota FJ, let me know in the description down below. Y'all have a good one. I could do that kind of stuff all day.